Welcome to session 1 of the Apps for Good Machine Learning Standard course. In this session, we will be exploring what we mean by the term machine learning, and we will look at some of the ways that machine learning affects our everyday lives. Our challenge will be to start to understand what neural networks are and how they help machines to learn how to identify images. To achieve these learning objectives, we will undertake a series of activities, including some practical exercises, and we will watch some videos. You will also have some worksheets to record your ideas and learning. You may be thinking that machine learning has nothing to do with you, as you're not thinking about a career in tech. However, as you will see, machine learning is already affecting many aspects of your life, from what you watch on Netflix to whether you get the job you are working towards. To get started, what do you already know about machine learning? Have you heard of it? And if so, what do you think it is? Fill in the first question on worksheet 1.1 in your workbook with your initial thoughts. Don't worry if you don't know anything about machine learning yet. You should know a lot more by the end of this session. Once you've answered question 1, watch the video on the following slide, then answer the remaining questions on the worksheet. QuickDraw is an online game that uses machine learning to identify images. It will ask you to draw 6 different objects and compare what you have drawn with what other people have drawn to try and guess what your drawing is. The more people who play the game, the more data the game has to help it guess what the object is. There is a short video on the next slide which will explain in more detail how the game works. Now we are going to look at how humans identify images. Have a look at the images of the cat and the dog. What rules can you think of to help you decide whether the image is a cat or a dog? If you're finding this activity difficult, think back to the first video which covered the same activity. Write down your rules in the first section of worksheet 1.3 in your workbook. Now have a look at these images. Do the rules you have come up with work to identify whether each of the images is a cat or a dog? If necessary, can you improve your rules so they work with these images? Record your new rules on the worksheet. To start to understand this process better, you're now going to build a machine learning model to sort images of cats and dogs using an application called Cognimates. Follow the step-by-step instructions on the next 6 slides to see how to do this. Once you've created your model, you can start to experiment with it. Try adding a third type of image or choose different categories of images to sort. What part of the image is the model analysing? Is it the main image or the background? Analysis of a model sorting images of wolves and dogs showed most wolves were shown against a snowy background, and the model had used this to help it decide whether the image was a wolf or a dog. Try picking images with similar backgrounds to see if you can confuse the model. So, how do computers learn to tell the difference between different images? They use something called neural networks, which are modelled on how the brain works. They consist of thousands of connections stacked in layers, which break down the information into smaller and smaller bits in order to analyse it. This sounds complicated, but the video on the next slide explains how it works. Once you've watched the video, answer the questions on worksheet 1.5 in your workbook. So, an algorithm is a series of instructions to accomplish a task. The video gives a number of examples of how they are used apart from sorting images. These include spotting fraudulent financial transactions, making video recommendations, and establishing the maximum price that can be charged for a plane ticket. The bots get trained by testing them on lots and lots of data. The bots that perform the worst are eliminated, and those that perform the best are combined and tweaked to produce even better results. It's important to note, however, that how the bots actually work is not known even to the people building the neural network. This final video gives some examples of what can go wrong when building and using machine learning models. Watch out in particular for how the images of the fish were identified, which ties into earlier discussions on which part of the image the machine learning algorithm is using. So, in this session, you've explored machine learning and some of its uses. You've gained an understanding of how neural networks are used in machine learning and started to explore how machine learning can be used to identify images. In the next section, you will explore how machine learning can be used for facial recognition and understand some of the issues surrounding the implementation of facial recognition technology.